Is this a cord? Is this a cord? This is not a cord.
Hi everybody. Welcome to Jenkins Boat Works. I am Chuck Jenkins. Fair warning, this video is not about boat building. We'll have some more of that coming up. Today I want to talk about firewood. We heat the shop here with an outdoor wood furnace. It is a hungry beast, and in order to keep the shop warm through the winter, we have to have usually 5 or 6 cords of wood. So lately we've been having a hard time getting wood. I have had one supplier that typically will bring it to me, cut, split, and delivered. All I have to do is stack it. And I've been trying to get wood from him for over 3 months. He did just finally bring it, but in the meantime, I had to go to some other new sources and people I was not familiar with. So I wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk about things you need to be aware of and be looking for if you are buying firewood. We're going to go into a couple of things that you need to be aware of, split a little bit of wood and look at a moisture meter and how dry it needs to be, and hopefully some interesting things like that. So we're glad you're here. Look through the rest of the channel. It is mostly about boat building, so if you like the video, remember to like and consider subscribing. Let's go out to the wood lot and see what we're doing.
We use this outdoor wood furnace to heat the boat shop, which is about 40 by 30 and 14 feet tall. We've been trying to get wood for several months, and just like everything else, there's shortages in supply, and we just got this. It's under these 2 tarps, and this is probably 22 feet long and probably an average of about 3 feet high and about 8 foot wide. What I want to talk about today is, are you getting what you're paying for when it comes to buying firewood? This is some wood we got from a fella a couple of weeks ago, and we were trying to buy a cord of wood for $300. And so we loaded up a little trailer. You can see it back up there. It's 10 foot by 5 foot by about 2 foot. So 50, it's be about 100 cubic feet in there. A cord, of course, is 8 foot long by 4 foot wide by 4 foot tall. So that's not a cord. And 100 cubic feet in that trailer up there would not be a cord. But we had it stacked up kind of tall over the rails. But I knew it wasn't a cord. Well, when we got it home, they just loaded it in there with a scoop on a skid steer. There was a lot of mulch in it. You can still see some of it laying on the ground over here. And just a lot of airspace. And so we got what we have here, which measures out to about 7 feet by 3 feet by probably 3 feet. So 7 by 3 is 21 times 3 is about 63 square feet. So just almost half a cord. Well, so I called the guy and I said, you know, there was a lot of airspace in it, there was a lot of mulch in it, and for $300 I wanted something closer to a cord of wood. So he was agreeable to that. He understood. I think he knew. So last night I took my truck here and I went back over there and we loaded up the bed. Now my bed is 6 foot long, 5 foot wide, not quite 2 feet tall. So There we go. 6 and 5, 6 times 5 is 30, times 2 is about 60 cubic feet. Well, we emptied that out, split it up, and stacked it inside this older wood shed here. That's what I've had. But we came against this wall over here. And so we're about 5 feet high in here. And a solid 7 feet. So 7 times 5 is 35, times maybe about 1.5 wide. So figure 35, and we're maybe 52, 55 cubic feet here. So between this and what I got originally over there, we're probably still not a cord, but we're close. We're probably 115 cubic feet. The cord's 128. Now, this pile here is very wet, so that's a frustration. I put the moisture meter on some of this, and we're 25, 26, 30% on our moisture, which I can't use it. I need it dried out. I need to get down hopefully below 18%, but I got way more than 2 cords here. If that is indeed an average of 3 feet tall, which I'm sure it is, and it's at least 8 foot wide, that's 24, and we're probably at least 20 feet long. So 24, that's like 480 cubic feet. 2 cords would be 128 and 128, about 250, 260. There's way more than 2 cords there, so I'm not upset about that. We got a bunch of ash that my son cut down 2 trees at his house, and I've had this tarped. There's some really big chunks in here. I'm trying to get it dried out. And we built this other wood shed this last winter toward, well, the beginning of spring. I remember it snowing on me when I was putting the roof on. And we've got a lot of that ash in here. So we've probably got a couple of cords of wood in here. And the ash dries out nicely, pretty quickly. So anyway, those are things to be thinking about. Make sure you know your measurements and be aware of airspace, especially if it's not stacked. You know, if they just dump it in with a scoop or a bucket, it's not going to stack neatly, and you're going to be paying for airspace. And then the other thing to do is I've got a little moisture meter. It's inside, but you know, you want to check the moisture content in your wood. And part of the reason this pared down in here is that I split this up really good, and there's like no airspace in this. So I'm trying to split up some wood for down at the house, and so I've got some wood that's been in the wood shed that's pretty dry, but we've got a smaller firebox down there, so I got to have this cut down a little bit. Got some walnut here, and I just split this one. I want to see what this moisture content is on this. I got this little moisture meter here. Now, I like one that has a little prong sticking out of it where you can stick it in the wood, but if you got a flat surface, this one works okay. And we got settings for masonry, softwood, hardwood. You got to arrow over to it. So we're on hardwood now. And that shows about 9%. So that's really good. You can tell by the way this splits that it's pretty dry. It doesn't come out stringy or anything. 11%, 10%, just 7 on the end here. So that's really nice. Let's split another one and see how it goes. You can tell too, because like this is real aged and darkened. It's, you know, it's not its original color. It's a way darker piece of wood. It's been it's been drying for a long time. Kind of tell by how much it weighs too. If it's heavy, it's got, you know, water in it. So let's see how this splits and what the moisture content is. Okay, that split pretty cleanly. We didn't have a lot of stringiness or difficulty getting it to split. Now that's inside the split. That's the old side. That's only showing 9%, 6, 7, 8, 7%. So this is really good. That's plenty dry to use down at the house. 8, yeah, 9. This has been sitting in this shed covered and drying for, well, ever since spring. So good 6, 8 months, 9%. That's wonderful. I think this is a piece of honey locust. It's a thorny, real thorny tree, and it has a tendency to rot, even standing. But it's when it's not rotted, it's good firewood. Now see, that busted off pretty clean. Now you can see inside there, that looks like it's wetter compared to where it's, you know, weathered. Let's see what that is. Hardwood. Now 11, 12, 13%. Oop, we're beeping. That shows 20% right there. So that one's a little wetter. That'll probably dry out pretty fast though, because we got this split down into smaller pieces. And that's one of the things I do, especially for down in the house. I can't get great big pieces in that firebox anyway, so if I split them down a little more, they'll have a tendency to dry out better. My wife accuses me of making toothpicks, but you need some kindling too to get your fire going. Now see how that's coming apart stringy? Like that's not clean, not a clean split. It's wet. Burning dry wood, you want to burn dry wood because if you're burning it wet, your fire's having to get rid of that moisture out of there, and then you're creating creosote in your chimney. It's a fire hazard. So the drier the wood, the more heat you'll get out of it. So, yep, sure is nice out here. It's kind of cool, but it's nice to just be outside. If you like the video, remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.